Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. So this class is called My Way and the Highway. You've heard of My Way or the Highway. Everybody's heard of that? Not unfamiliar? Okay, good.
What's the difference?
A little difference, a subtle difference there. We'll go into it. So every year when I lived in Portland, so I grew up in Honolulu, and I met a friend of mine who was practicing this Bhakti, this Krishna consciousness, back in 1993. And after spending like a weekend or a week with her, I went home and I said, Mom, I'm a vegetarian now. And I didn't tell my mom I'm not smoking pot anymore, but everything had changed in my life. But it was until 1999, I became a monk in 1999. And then as a monk, I lived in this temple, in Brooklyn Temple. And in the Brooklyn Temple, I sold a book to my wife-to-be at the subway of Grand Central Station. And so in 2002, we were married, and so in 2002 and on, while we were living in Portland, we would take all our friends, especially even those who are a little bit fresh and new to Bhakti, we would take them down to a road trip to Los Angeles for the Festival of Chariots Festival. Now, Portland Temple, we just had a little house that was next to like a Chinese-owned printing shop, and that our little house with its big living room kind of setup, that was our temple off of a major street. It wasn't like a big building, 5-story building. It was a little place. So we wanted people to have like more of a broad experience. So we come and bring them to this beautiful festival. And if you've been to the Festival of Chariots in Washington Square Park, any of you been to the Rath Yatra Festival? And Carmen's been. She's been to the Rath Yatra, the parade in Bronx also. You know, anybody have ever been to? Yeah, so every year in June they do it in New York City, and as you see, it's like they got delicious food. It's a lot of fun at the temple. There's some. Los Angeles Temple, a lot of the guys that are there, the girls and guys are there, they are professional actors like in Hollywood. And so they put on theater, and it's like, it's amazing. And this guy, they did the story of Sati. Sati does this whole, where she, using yogic power, she sets her body on fire because she does not want to be connected to her father, who's insulted her husband, Lord Shiva. And so she sets herself on fire with meditation. And she looked like she was on fire in that play. I was like, whoa. And it was a really, really cool, fun event. And so it originates from India. These are the miniature versions. If you go to Puri, this festival is going around for thousands and thousands of years, at minimal, at least 5,000 years, where they've had this 2 million person parade. Festival of Chariots. It's actually where you get the term, the English term that has been used in DC Comics, Juggernaut. Have anybody heard of that term, Juggernaut? Yeah. So when they saw, these are the small ones. In India, they have the huge ones. They're basically giant houses on wheels pulled by humans with ropes. And they're like, that's the unstoppable force. Like they're pulling a house on wheels. And so when they saw this festival, and everybody's singing a name of Krishna, Jagannath. Jagat means the universe, and Nath means Lord. So Lord of the universe. And so when they saw this and they're hearing this, they made their own word, Juggernaut. So we were driving. It's a 16-hour drive. Usually we take like a little nap at one of the rest stops, and we continue driving. And then about 3 hours outside of LA. Right before you get to LA, you have all these hills, not just like little hills, but like mountainsides, like cliffs, and then the road is basically either there's a cliff or you're hitting the side of the mountain. So it's just like these rolling hills, and then and steep like hills are there. And before you get there, then it again plateaus up into Northern California. And so right before we got to those mountains, we did something that it's kind of the culture that you learned when you lived as a monk. There's certain things that you learned that you just couldn't get rid of. And so one of the things is that when you visit a holy place, you go and you take a snan, a bath. You make sure that you come out, you enter the place nice and clean. Actually, in India, there's what is called pratama snan. In Ayurveda, we learned that the body has all these 9 gates. During rest, the body exudes waste products. You wake up in the morning and there's waste products on your eyes. So all these gates are polluted. And so in India, every morning, everyone, the homeless person, everyone takes a bath. Not just for the physical purity, but because it also helps to cleanse the mind. Have you noticed after taking a shower, your head is clear? And so they would do this. So we went to a rest stop, and what they do in India, every person can take a shower anywhere and everywhere. They have this like a kind of cloth that's very thin. You wrap it around yourself, and then you put a little water on yourself. Maybe just have a little bucket, soap up, and then you rinse it off and put on some dry clothes. You're not even naked. You're just taking a shower wherever you want. And as you catch a train in India, you'll see all these people like in the morning brushing and sudsing up and everything and keeping clean.
Do they provide a soap?
Who's they?
The Indian people.
They are the Indian people.
No, but the soap. They provide a soap.
Do Indians have soap?
No,
Who's the they?
Soap, or is there already soap there?
They go with the soap there.
Oh, okay.
And you can even, if you don't have soap, you can wash with clay and rinse off. Even that is helpful. That'll cleanse the body. Yeah. And so, like this, everybody would do this. So we did that. We went to rest stop. We went into the woods. We put our gumshoes on. We freshened up, and we got all our nice. Like Om Keshivaya Namaha. Oh, what happened there? So we did all that, and then we started driving, going about 80 miles an hour. Pa! The rear tire pops. Oh, TV is.
Oh, that might be the Gita class.
So the rear tire pops. And what did I say about the area? Cliff, die the cliff, or smash against the wall, mountain wall. So our van is skidding, and it finally goes off the road and flips onto its side. But at that point there was no more hills and walls. It was now that part was flat. And so we ended up flat on its side. And then from there, the ambulance came. They were surprised that there were people alive in the van, and they took us to a hospital. Not any type of hospital, but a prison hospital. Yes. And so we were brought to this prison hospital, and we got, my wife got a bunch of stitches in her forehead, and little stitches here, and then we went back to our van. They flipped the van back over. It was a little lopsided now, and we drove it the rest of the way to LA. And we show up to LA with blood on our clothes and stitches on our foreheads and such. And have you dealt with? Now this is the idea. We thought we knew exactly what was going on and where we're going. We know we got the truth, and this is it, and this is where it goes, and this is it. So have you dealt with my way or the highway views? What are some reflections you have so far?
The first thing that comes to mind is we plan, God laughs.
Oh yeah, it's a good way to make him laugh. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
How do you make God laugh? Tell him your plans.
Mhm.
So, what comes to mind when I hear that? Are you talking about just the phrase, or are you talking about based off of what you said?
Just the phrase, yeah, yeah. It's in general, just like kind of the certainty. I know everything, and if you don't join my club, you're probably gonna be cooking on a barbecue.
That's what. Yeah, I was gonna kind of say like that. If somebody's not going with what I have intended, then they can go about wherever they want to go. They're just not gonna join, or if it's like the other way around, if I don't agree with somebody else's idea, then I'm just not gonna join whatsoever. That's what it means to me. Yeah.
Anybody grew up with that in their environment? Like,
Yeah, definitely.
how about you? Summer?
Oh yeah, just when you said like if anybody grew up in that environment, I think about one of my parents is kind of like they were really strict with us growing up, so I feel like it's something that parents say sometimes.
Actually, I find that there's a lot of people in this world that intuitively feel that I think there's something beyond matter.
Yeah.
You know, I feel it. And then someone says, okay, if you want to feel it, then you got to believe this. And if you believe this, that means everybody in China went to hell. And you're like, I don't know about that. It's like, you want to believe that there's divinity, then you have to accept this pill. And you're like, no. And they're like, I don't know. It's a kind of, so this kind of rigid, dogmatic view that if you don't join our club, you are out. You are cursed. You are gonna. There's no hope for you. What's the opposite side of that? There's another type of extreme. What's the opposite side of that?
Anything goes.
Anything goes.
It's for everyone.
All roads lead to Rome.
Mm.
So what are some of the issues there?
Diverse community, and we'll probably have to deal with a lot of personalities. I guess. Dealing with a lot of personalities if we're on the same context.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like, what if I have a tribal religion, and our philosophy is might makes right, and if I gain, that means I'm good, and if you lose, that means you're bad. There are traditions like that.
Yeah.
And so if I rob you and kill you and take your money, I'm good because I won. And you were bad because you dead. And you say, well, all religion, it's all one. Every religion, every path is the same. Well, that's a dangerous type of, if killing somebody in the name of spirituality is the same as like feeding the hungry, then there's something wrong there. It's kind of like you can have an open mind, but if your brain is so open that it eventually just falls out and lands on the ground, then it's a little bit of a. So when you're on this highway, there's something you need. Today I drove to drop my youngest daughter to the airport. It was a very long affair because she's 13, so you have to do the what do you call non-adult accompanied minor thing. So you have to like stay there, and I got there at 1, and then I left there at 4 or something. I stayed there for a while. So when you drive there, you need something, and this is called. You see, 1 second. You need a little bit of break, isn't it? This is reflection. This is like not this blind faith, you know. But you also need some gas. You have to have this willingness. Like I say, this honey tastes like lavender. You're like, I don't believe you, but at least like smell it, try it. I don't know. And if you're not willing to like taste it, maybe you're afraid of that. Maybe smell it or something. I don't know. So This is called gas and brake, doubt and faith. They're both required to drive. You need both elements, isn't it? That both these elements are pertinent for your safety.
I have a question.
Yes.
So if you have faith in something, why do you ask questions? If you have faith, why
So
would
what
you
does
ask
faith
how?
mean?
Like you believe in something to be true?
So faith is a curiosity, a willingness to participate. It's where you put your heart, but doesn't mean you give up your brain. So like, for example, you may have faith in me that I know how to catch the subway in New York City. And I may tell you, you catch the A train, you can get to Penn Station from here. You walk down to Hoyt Skimmerhorn, you get on the train, it will, I forget the stop that it passed after that, but then it will go to Broadway Lafayette, it will go to West 4th, it will go 14th Street, and then it'll get to Penn Station. Now, you may believe that, have trust in me, and actually that willingness to participate, like you actually get on the train, and you're not like, you're actually willing to get on the train. The word faith, people often think is something to do with religion, but it's everything that we're dealing with in our everyday life is some willingness to participate. We don't have, how many of us are conscious of all things everywhere at all times? So that requires a willingness to trust or to do anything in this world. So now when you got to the West 4th Street station, is it even, could you still call it faith, or it's something you actually experienced?
What do you mean by that?
Like if I tell you this is going to go from Hoyt Skimmerhorn to West 4th to 14th Street to Penn Station, when you get to West 4th, your knowledge that this takes you to West 4th is no longer faith, it's experienced.
Okay.
So if I say, you practice this chanting of the names of God, and you will achieve pure love for God. And these are the successive stages of development. Now, you might not be there at Penn Station, or you might not be there at the final goal, where nothing, like, final goal is like you are a saint, where, they nail you to a cross or put you on a throne and nothing bothers you, because you are highly spiritually elevated. But you might have experienced some of this level, and experienced some of that level, and therefore that becomes no longer a type of a willingness to participate, but a realized faith or a practical experience. So just like you got to West 4th, you know the train, you don't know if it goes to Penn Station, but and the more it goes along the route, the more you have a stronger faith that it does go to Penn Station, because everything not only seems to add up, but experientially you're getting that result. It is going to all the stops that it said it would go to. So one should use their intelligence. If I give you a map for New York City, and I say, you take this train, and where does Manhattan? Manhattan's down here. You got Queens in the middle. You got the Bronx over here, and you have Staten Island on the top. Everything's like all crazy, and it's drawn by a 3-year-old. If it doesn't make sense, then you're not obliged to give your willingness to participate. You should ask questions. But one thing is to have crippling doubt. Crippling doubt is blind doubt. That's when you have questions, but you don't want answers. Sometimes we may argue. We don't even have an argument. We don't even have our own stance, but we just want to show that the other person's wrong. So that's a bad type of argument. Another best type of argument is when both parties just want to know the truth. They don't care if they're right or wrong. They don't want to know what's the truth. That's what Krishna says in Gita chapter 10. Vada pravantamaham. And then to have an answer, but to avoid questions. That's blind faith. So blind doubt, have questions, but to avoid an answer. So we mentioned earlier that other extreme. This is a famous old Indian saying. Yatamat tattapat, all roads lead to Rome. And so let's see, what do we have regarding this? How many of you heard about the elephant in the room?
The phrase?
Yes. So there's a couple elephants that we're going to address. There's there's the phrase, the elephant in the room. And so what would you say is the elephant in the room of religion?
What do you mean by that?
Well, elephant in the room means a problematic thing that people aren't addressing.
But we know it's there.
But we know it's there.
Okay.
The problem of God.
What's the problem of God?
Where is he?
Where is he? Okay. What is another elephant in the room of religion?
What happens to non-believers?
What's that?
Like if you're not born into that religion, what happens to those?
Yeah, so that's a big one, is that the dogmatic attitude of my way or the highway. So that mood of, if you don't join my tradition, you are destined you're cursed. You know, did you become a Sam's Club member or a Costco member? Oh, you joined the wrong club, you are cursed. You know, that's a kind of clubism mentality.
That's because that's what they believe in.
Huh?
That's because that's what they believe in.
Yeah, so should we just have faith, or should we also express some doubt? Should we use our brains as well? God has given us brains to question. Not crippling doubt that we come to the point where we do nothing with our life. But we should, like Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita, throughout the Bhagavad Gita, there are 18 chapters, and 9 of the chapters start with a question. And these are doubtful questions. And the other 9 chapters start with an implied question. And so the whole point of asking questions and clearing out doubts is essential for spiritual life. So this is, yes?
I see this as you're talking and listening. It's like understanding that balance is essential for understanding how to elevate in any club, pretty much. You know? Okay.
So, doubt is like an obstacle and faith is like a substance, right? So like going back to this, you said the problem with any religion, for example, doubt. An obstacle, where is God? Right? That's an obstacle. Where is God?
Well,
Because people always want to see the image of God or the appearance of God, the presence of God, or at least be in amongst where God is.
so there was once these 2 young fish, and they were swimming. And they passed by an old fish. And the old fish said, "Hey, how's the water?" And the 2 fish. And they kept on swimming, and then they were like, "What the hell is water? What's this guy talking about?" And so it actually, there was another slide for some reason didn't save, but there's a verse that's very, very close, sounds very similar to this, it's all one kind of thing, but it's from the Bhagavad Gita, but it's actually very different. And that's from chapter 4, text 11. So it goes like this. Ye yatamam prapadyante tam stathaiva bhajamyaham mama vartmanu vartante manusha partha sarvasyaha ye yata mam prapadyante. As everyone approaches me, I respond accordingly. Mama Vartmanu, my path. Mama Vartmanu Vartante. Manusha Sarvasha. Manusha Partha Sarvasha. Everyone is on my path in all respects. Now, Bhagavad Gita is definitely not everything, all roads lead to the Rome, to exactly how one may take that. But then this verse sounds almost identical. So what's the clarity? What is the discernment? What is the distinction? And that's found in the first part of the verse. So the first part of the verse, Krishna says, there's this law of reciprocity. And reciprocity is giving different types of levels and different types of realization of divinity. So, if someone does not want to believe in God, then God must help them not believe in him. Because he is a fish in water. This is all God's energy. Maybe we can close this door, or we can tell them that we're having a class here. Okay. So we are the souls, we are parts of God. This is God's energy. And matter is also God's energy. We are fishes in water. Trying to not know that there's water. And so Krishna has this energy, another type of energy called Maya. How many of you heard this energy? Maya. So Maya is the illusion, yes. So that facilitates, yes, you had?
I had a question. I don't know if anyone heard it before, but there was a few people who asked, just like how we can't really see air, can fish see water?
Yes.
Yeah.
So Krishna is acting in reciprocity to the consciousness and the desires of the souls. So if someone says there's no God, then God is within their heart, coming up with different arguments against his own existence. Psst, psst, hey, use this one. This one's good. He is the one that provides intelligence. How do the birds fly south for the winter? You know, when we take a biology class and they find these amazing, indescribable abilities and capabilities, they'll pull out a nice joker card. Instinct. They say, we don't have a way to explain it, but we'll give it a term, so you just shut up and stop asking questions. But there's no explanation. Like, how does it work? What's the function? Instinct.
What I've heard it explained is that those who did fly south survived, and so they continued to repeat that. And those who didn't fly south froze to death.
No, but they're first time.
Survival of the fittest.
No, first time. How do they know how to get thousands of miles from here? If we said, hey, walk 1,000 miles this way and get to this specific destination, would you be able to? Probably not. So this is thousands of miles. Butterflies landing in the same tree, thousands of miles away. Things beyond the range of their perceptions. So there's intelligence. How many of us, if we're humble enough, we can find out that there is intelligence that is actually provided to us. Someone who is a great musician, they'll say, I'm not actually a musician. I'm just a secretary. I did some hard work, and then things started coming. Even this phrase came to me. I didn't make it. I was thinking about it, but I felt like I just had to do the work of thinking about it, but it was given to me. And so this flow of things coming to you, where does it come from? Where does that intelligence come from? Is it coming from our consciousness? Tap into something higher. Oh.
Yeah, it's a higher form of intelligence, or the main source, probably.
So this, so if someone doesn't want, then God is like, okay, it's a tinted window. I won't show you. I can see everything, but you can't see me. So this is in chapter 7 of Bhagavad Gita. What is it? Maya tatamidam sarvam. Yajagat avyaktamurti namatstani sarvabhutani nachaham teshtu. No, I think it's a different Sanskrit verse. But he says basically, Yoga Maya Samavrita. I am covered. You can't see me. Now, if someone says God is just an energy, then he just taps that tinted window button. He taps it really slightly, and it opens up just a little bit, and the beautiful aura, effulgence of God comes through. And someone says, oh, God is just a light. Just a light. Because he's just rolled down the tinted window. He's not, there's no love, there's no personhood there, it's just a light. But logically, we would say that if this world has it, how about the source? Why is the source lacking? Rather, isn't it the perfection of everything you can find? Yes?
So then, what in interpretation of the Creator would allow us to have the most fullest experience of it?
Perfect. That's a very good question. Yes, yes. So I can share one analogy. There's some villagers, and they've never seen a train before. These are like train, yeah. They're like Aboriginal, like just they live in the jungle. They never seen anything like this before. But they heard there's something called a train station being built nearby, and so they go out to see what is this thing. And so they have two heads of the different villages that are there. And so one of them he sees, and he just runs home. He tells everybody what a train is. They said, "What's a train?" You wouldn't believe it. It's the brightest light I've ever seen. It's got smoke, and I can feel the rumble. And it's, yeah, and that's it. He just saw the light from far away rumbling. He just ran home and told everybody. Next guy, he waited a little longer, and he saw all these rectangular shaped things and wheels and gears and people coming on with rectangular things, this and that coming on and off. And he ran home and told everybody what a train is. The last one got on the train and met the train conductor. Went to the cafe, had some chai, stuck his head out the window, feeling the wind in his hair. He'd never been in something so fast in his life. The train conductor explained all the functionalities of all this. And just like behind this light is the light bulb, and behind the light bulb is a person. There is personality in that function. There is creativity, intelligence. And so in the Vedas, it describes that there are 3 stages of divinity, 3 stages of realization. One is just the energy. One is the intelligence within everything. It's giving an element of personhood. Like if someone says, I set my intentions out to the universe, do they mean I put my feelings towards rocks in space? They feel like, no, there's some consciousness there. There's intelligence there, maybe some benevolence. So they say believe in God, but they maybe feel a little bit scared to say the word God because it's like a daddy issues or something like the whole, like we said earlier, I want to believe in divinity, and then you say, okay, you wanted to believe in divinity? Then you have to sign up that everybody in China is going to hell. And you're like, no, forget, you get out of here. Go on the highway, get out of here. So this question comes up. So these realizations are based on not necessarily hard work, but just that intentionality, that reciprocity. Like, what are some reasons why a child may clean their room?
To please their parents.
Please their parents.
If it was an order coming from their parents, if they had the integrities, then it's probably just because they learned that skill from their parent.
So very, very dutiful.
They gotta clean
Okay.
it.
What else? That's a good one.
Comfort.
Comfort for himself, yeah.
To live in an orderly, clean place.
Might be a girl coming over.
Well, you said child.
Child, a teenager. You still got to get those teenagers to clean their room, man. I got 3 of them.
Guys would never clean their room.
So that's the first level. The bottom level is a child is afraid to get beat.
Yeah.
Next level, they want to get some money, or it's for their own comfort, or some girls coming. It's for them. Next level, duty, integrity, gratitude.
No.
Next level,
Example.
outpouring of the heart, genuine affection. Goes beyond just even respect. Like you may respect your karate teacher, but you may feel even more of a loving feeling towards your parents. Like you just want them to be happy, not out of like duty, but it's just an outpouring of affection. Like somebody may do something for their beloved, not because it's the right thing to do. They don't care if I'm gonna just do it. I'm not expected to do this, I'm gonna do it anyway. They might clean their room.
So they're full of love and they're able to express it, actually send the love out because they're full of it.
So this is the highest form of meditation called bhakti. So someone can worship God out of fear. God's going to burn me and beat me. I'm going to worship God because I heard there's prosperity. You worship God and he gives you whatever. He's Amazon.com. He gives you whatever you want. If you want something, you just go to God and he gives you everything. You call 1-800 number, Buddha, Jesus, Krishna, and he will give you whatever you want. And so this is... then up here some gratitude, some feeling of respect and honor, and it just snowed and rained. That's the water bill. I didn't even pay for that. The sunlight came out. That's the light bill. I didn't even pay for that. Let me do something out of gratitude. But the highest is out of genuine affection, an outpouring of love. And so Krishna is saying in this verse, I'm behind everything. Whatever path you're on, you need my help to be on that path. It might not be the highest expression of a path, but I'm still behind it. Actually, he describes this in chapter 7 of Bhagavad Gita. He says, Kamasastir hitta jnana prapadyanti naradama Maya aprahita jnana surambhavam ashrita. He says, those kamasastir hita jnana, those whose intelligence have been taken away by desire, that they're driven, their mind is driven by desires. He says, I will direct them to worship all the angels, to beg for this, give me this, give me that, give me this. Kamasasir hita jnana prapadyanti, and I will give them the faith, and I will even give them the result. They'll get what they want, but I'm making it happen. Even if they're worshiping the employees of God, the divinities like the angels and such, I will. They don't want God; they don't want material things. So I'm not direct. I'm not sending them on the fast lane. They can go and stay in the slow lane. That's not what they want. They want to be over there. They can stay over there. But for those who are constantly devoted with serving me with love, I give them the intelligence by which they can come back to me. That's Bhagavad Gita 10:10. He says, well, I help. For someone who takes one step towards me, I take 100 steps towards them. But if someone takes one step towards Maya, she takes 2 steps back. So we're trying to get a little material enjoyment, and it's like that carrot on the stick. It moves 2 steps back. Yes?
I often wonder if the lack of devotion is just for the sheer fact of not knowing the substance of God, of knowing exactly what you are devoted to. Because how can you be devoted to something you don't know what you're devoted, like what that devotion is?
So then you got to discover it. You say, like George Harrison is saying, I really want to know you. I want to know, I want to understand. Because what does the word Krishna mean? God means it's all attractive. The substance is attractive. But we have to gain a taste of it. We actually have to have an experience. And that experience, first you have, as we mentioned earlier, you find something that you have a willingness to give participation. So that is called small f, faith, shraddha. Find something that you can engage with, but then engage with it. If like someone says, hey, this is an experiment, you mix salt with hydrogen with this and that, and then poof, this happens. And you're like, okay, and they do a little bit of salt, and you're like, okay, I don't, and then, wait, I don't see the poof. Well, you got to engage. You got to do the thing it says to do, and do it as it says to be done. And then see, does it actually work? Does it actually work? First, if you're not at the stage of engaging with it, then learn about it to see if it's worthy to engage with. And if it's finally worthy to engage with, then engage with it. Because then it becomes like that crippling doubt, just stepping on the brake, not doing anything. Like in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna gives this, although the Bhagavad Gita is encouraging doubts, there's one verse where he's talking about the problem of doubt. He says, Agya shadadanascha shamshaya vinashati. So you have three people. You have one who just doesn't know anything. He has no spiritual knowledge. That guy's unfortunate. And then you got one guy, he has spiritual knowledge just because he's a scholar, but he doesn't actually, it's not his worldview. He doesn't think, it's like, he knows the technicalities of the Sanskrit word jnana and karma and all this stuff, but he doesn't, it's like not hitting his heart. That guy's unfortunate. He's actually more unfortunate. The guy who doesn't know is a little better off than him. And then the third one is someone who knows, they have this worldview, but they don't have that willingness to really give themselves to God, to try. So it requires, it is, the word faith is suitable because it requires you to give yourself a little bit. And so reach out to God so he can reach out. You find that painting of Michelangelo, and God is reaching out, but he's just waiting. You look at Michael, he's just like, his fingers just like, he's like so, there's like so little effort there. All he has to do is like lift his finger just like a tiny bit. That's it. God's like reaching out, and then he's just like, so we just have to put a little bit there. Yes.
So like, I also thought of this too. Like the questions is how we engage in what we're looking for, and the answers are the results. Because our intelligence come in as we see the observation of what we were looking for, pretty much. So we get that observation, we're just like, it kind of clicks in our intelligence, and then we're just like, oh, okay, I see now. And then the person will probably know which direction they actually want to go in, based off their heart, based off of what they're looking for, what they're seeking is in their heart. So,
But it can take many lifetimes, actually. So we will, if we're lucky, we can hear that there are actually this higher forms of motivation. Because we can get results on different kinds of paths. We can, like, I worship this God to get some money, and I got money. So that means, like, I should just worship different angels for everything I want. But it's not even about spirituality or relationship or my eternality or divinity. It's just about, like, a business going on. And so results can come. But we want to see what is the highest motivation. And that we should kind of dig into what is the highest motivation. Our claim is love is the highest motivation. We are dogmatic about that. Love is the highest motivation. Doesn't matter if you're a Christian or Muslim or Hindu. That is the highest form of religion, loving God. And that's the highest type of reciprocity. Other things you can offer God, allegiance, money, he doesn't have no interest. It's when there's affection. He's like, oh, I'm interested.
So that's true devotion.
True devotion. And it doesn't matter what religion you are. So you have, I have one story about another elephant. And so this is an ancient story from the Srimad Bhagavatam. And it's a story about an elephant named Gajendra. You can find a beautiful song rendition by our friend Genevieve Harrison. She did a collaboration with Willow on this song, this story, and it's by the name of the elephant, Gajendra. There's a music video, and they have a human kind of spiritual form in the animation because people don't know the story, so they just have like a glowing folded hand guy with a... But the story is, there was once, in a previous life he was a king, but in his next life he was born as an elephant. And he had the life. He had his 16 girlfriends, as elephants do. He'd take his nice baths in beautiful rivers with lotus flowers all over, and everything is lush and there's fresh fruit, and he's got his kids there, and he's just having a very nice life. But the thing about that in this world is if you want to have a very nice life, just wait a little time and some trouble will come. Don't worry, it will come. And if you're in trouble right now, don't worry, it's going to change and everything will be very nice. Just wait. And then if it's very nice right now, don't worry, trouble's going to come. That's just winter and summer. It comes, we think, if I got to work hard for that happiness. Did you work hard for the distress to come? No, it came anyway. So the happiness and distress are going to come no matter what. It's just going to come your way. You don't have to work for it. Actually, when we don't work for happiness, then we become happy. We become peaceful. Happiness is a byproduct of a peaceful mind, not I got this, I got the Nintendo Switch, this or that or whatever, Christmas or. So he got bit on the leg by an alligator. He was attacked, and he was a proud elephant. He was very powerful. On the land, he could have just smashed that alligator, but it was halfway in the water. And so it was a great struggle, great struggle. And it was going on perpetually. It was going on very, very, very long, to the point that he became very humble and helpless. We have a German saying, Dummheit und Stolz wachsen have deben Sebenholz. Pride and stupidity grow on the same tree.
Wow.
A tree that has no fruits. Yes. Tree that has fruits. Very pulled down and humble. So this elephant, he was like that. He was very becoming humbled. And in his humility, in his desperation, he started calling out prayers. Prayers, like I said, he didn't even know where they came from. They were mantras that he had heard in previous lives. And he started calling out for God, saying, I am yours. Do with me as you like. I am yours. I'm your servant, so take care of this property, please. But from now on, I'm not living for my own desires. I'm living for your desires. If the hand, how should the hand live? For its own desires? Should the hand just start taking food for itself? No. If the hand serves the body, then it's nourished. If it tries to take it for itself, it doesn't get any. It might feel a little nice to, take some mustard and veggies, and I don't know. It might feel nice, but it doesn't do the job. And so he's saying like this, I'm done. I'm done with this life of just trying to satisfy me. I'm yours. So kindly take me. And then immediately Lord Vishnu, riding on the back of the Garuda carrier, appeared. And there was a little backstory there. It said that in one of the commentaries on this ancient book, it said that he did not even know the name of God, but still God came. Also, it said that oftentimes the angelic creatures, the devas, they deal with problems in the animal kingdom. And they were a little offended. Oh, you're going to the CEO and you didn't go to the manager? Good luck. Let's see if he comes. And it's the CEO, Lord Vishnu, appeared immediately just to show them. And they immediately followed Vishnu with like, so we're also don't want to become dumb, proud trees. You want to be very humble trees, full of fruits. And so that cool thing that was mentioned in the commentaries is that he did not have any specific name. He just knew, I want the source. And so there is a term. You guys ready for your Sanskrit glossary goodie, your your like we have in Sesame Street, your vocabulary word of the day?
Yeah, Josh.
Yes. So it's called Bhava, Grahi, Janardana. Bhava, Grahi, Janardana. So that means that God is one who knows our essence, our intention. Oh, do you join the right religion, Jehovah, Christian? He says, does this person actually, what is the quality of their love? And they get reciprocity on it. That's it. Doesn't matter what religion. And there are some traditions that deal with this in very nuanced and very intelligent way. But the goal is actually develop your love. It doesn't matter how, like the Bhakti philosophy is so intricate. But if you're not working on trying to develop love for God, then what's the point? So we're trying to actually develop that love that's natural for the soul. It's natural for a child to walk, but in the beginning it looks like practice. So it just takes a little bit of practice, but it's already within them. So the dogmatic mentality is like, again, you've heard the story of the blind men and the elephant. The 8 blind men, the elephant. I like, actually, you've heard this term too many times, but I like it as the elephant in the room. We have an elephant in this room, and you turn off all the lights, and someone says, what kind of creature this is? They're holding onto the tusk. And what do they say? What is it? What is this creature like?
You're asking me? I don't know.
It's a hard, and it's cold, and it's got a pointy end. No, it's like a spear. Spear. And then Carmen, she has the ear. And it's like she's touching the ear of the elephant. She's like, no, it's like like a fan-like creature. It's like a furry canvas. And you're like, she's insane. This thing is not furry. It is not soft. It's not malleable. It is a hard, cold, and pointy at the end. And Carmen's like, no, come over here and check it out. And she's like, I'm not even willing to listen to what you got to say. You're speaking nonsense, and I have the truth in my hand. And she's like, no, I have the truth. I'm feeling it right now. And then someone has the belly and says, no, it's like a barrel. Someone has the legs, says it's like a tree trunk. Someone has the tail, says, no, it's like a rope. Someone has the nose and says, no, it is like a boa constrictor. And so in this way, they're all arguing, these blind folks in this dark room, of what this creature is. One solution, turn the lights on. So that one solution means everybody become enlightened. But that's not also an easy solution. Everybody become Jesus-like sadhus, holy people who are untouched by this world. That is a goal, but it's not the easiest solution. There is also another solution, the concept of an elephant. That's also another solution. If you have a philosophy, a spiritual philosophy that can understand different walks of life, then it's like a person who can understand the different parts of an elephant. Even though they're not touching that part, they can understand the other part. And another solution is that humility. Because humility opens, I'm holding onto this tusk and you're talking about something that sounds really different. But okay, let me see what you got to offer, Maybe it's a little different on that side or something. There's a humility. So that's one way we deal with the elephant in the room of religion, of this dogmatism is we turn on the lights a little bit. We start to see things. We start to see, this is knowledge here. This is knowledge here. Maybe this part is I don't understand, but I can still see in essence here. Like God is understanding the essence, we also should be essence seekers. Just like He looks for the best that we have to offer, we should find the best that everybody else has to offer. And yes, so this is the.
I believe you have a question.
Oh yes.
I was just gonna say, faith is like the biggest teacher, especially like if you really like study karma, because once you are faced with like the Lord and your state of existence, fate and your karma is all that you have. And like the good thing about fate that I've learned is that fate can teach you. For example, you can have the fate of a mustard seed, right? You can desire anything, you can have that fate, that gas. The gas can be small, the gas can be big, right? However, once you have that fate, it's pulling you towards all of your desires, because that is fate is a teacher. However, it's like attaching you to karma, which is not necessarily a bad thing. However, like fate can be like a tool. For example, fate of Krishna can show you visions in the mind that can create like lots and lots of gas that you can't really have by reading a book, or because it's like a gas that is igniting the soul, right? If you don't have that mustard seed, for example, you can have faith that let's make it very, very simple. I have faith that I may see my grandmother again, right?
Yeah.
That faith is a mustard seed. And it's ignited, the reality and the possibilities open up, right? Where's it going to take you?
Yeah, just like if you heard Morse code, if you had some faith, or if you doubted that there was just absurdity, but maybe there is something behind this strange beats and rhythms, then that opens the opportunity of cracking the code. There's some opportunity that is opened up. But if you just say, no, there's nothing there, then you would never figure it out. Like if you found like some script and you say, oh, this is just scribbles. This is, then you would never figure it out. But if you like, maybe this is a language that I don't know, and you look at the patterns and you see the context, and you can start to crack the code. So yes, that willingness to participate, or you can even say it in a negative, a doubt of its absurdity. Maybe there is something to it. So both of these things are even related. Yes?
How do we understand karma better, where it's like, I've heard in a different context, we should let God handle it. If anyone is troubling us, how do we understand karma better in that sense? Like, I know that we should have a loving mindset, and we probably shouldn't try to wish any harm on other people. And then if another person is taking advantage of somebody who's innocent, like how do we understand the mindset of karma for each side? Yeah.
Very good question. Very good question. So you brought up, this is like sensitive versus sensible. Or you brought up, there's another term, I don't want to break everyone's brain with this one. This is called deontology versus consequentialism, or practical versus principle, or versus purity versus utility. And so I'll give you some examples. So you have sensitivity. You have in Bhagavad Gita chapter 17, text 15, Krishna talks about the discipline of speech. He says, Anudvegam karam bhakyam satyam prihitam chayat svadayabhyasanam chaiva vanmaya tapa uchate. This tapa, this discipline, this austerity of speech is known as speaking things that are truthful, kind, necessary, helpful. Actually, in my son's social studies textbook, they put it out into an acronym, and they just missed one of the points that were in the Bhagavad Gita. So it's THINK, and then you add S. So when you speak, is it truthful? Truthfully, your ears are big. But wait, is it helpful? Is it inspiring? Is it necessary? Is it kind? And then when it's speaking about spiritual matters? Is it sourced? Is it just out of the imagination of your mind, or where is this sacred source of this? You know, so thinks. The yogi, he thinks before he speaks. But if you see these 6 elements, they're a balance between sensitivity and sensibility. So, you know, say we found out just 2 days ago, a friend of ours, he passed away, and I said I will sing some kirtan on his behalf, and luckily I got asked to sing, so I was like singing on. He's like, yes, this was his favorite temple to be at, you know, and so I got to sing. Now, if you were to go to like a funeral, and you know, say somebody in your family, there was a funeral, and then you get up on the podium and you're like, hey guys, I just came back from the Hare Krishna temple. He's not the body. Why y'all crying? We're not the body, we're the soul. That might not be too sensitive. That might not be. Now, if they call the temple, send us a priest to talk about how we're not the body. Okay, yes, you know, we'll come there. We won't be making a whole scene. But if you know, if you're just going there, it's maybe just be. You don't have to come in with the truth. Come in with the softness, you know, the sensibility. And then you see some kids like playing on the roof, or playing next to some electrical cables, or playing with some knives, you know, or I don't know, playing something dangerous. You don't talk sensitively. You speak some curse words. Hey, get the hell out of there! Like, get out of the street, or whatever, you know. So it's more sensible, not sensitive. So you have kind of two elements, just like how water goes around a stone so that is the flexibility, but the only reason it does that is because of the gravity. So you have an anchoring of something. So you're saying, like, I want to be anchored in principles, but at the same time I have to be flexible. And the only way to know that we made the right decision is there's no substitution other than being very mature and advanced. We'll probably make mistakes along the way. It's good to find people that you find are more spiritually mature than you, and ask them, inquire from them. What do you think about this decision? What do you think about that? Keep it out of just our own heads. You know, take guidance. Because sometimes, we have to stand up. Sometimes we just have to, you know, as I say, turn the other cheek. It's not always a formula. You know, it's not just a formula. Life is very dynamic, so we're going to have to be discerning. Yeah. Yes.
How do you determine spiritual maturity?
Spiritual maturity is one of the qualities is that the person is less affected by anger, less affected by their genitals, by their hunger, they're not pushed, they're not controlled by everything. So, there's a book called The Nectar of Instruction you can find upstairs. Little tiny book, written by Rupa Goswami 500 years back. And he says, Vacho vegan manasakrodha vegan. These are the 6 vegans that you have to get them to listen to you to become a world-class teacher. You know, there are many vegans, but this is the 6 vegans you got to get them to listen to you. Jiva vegan, udaropasta vegan, etan vegan, yo vishaheta dira, sarvam apimam pritivim sashishat. So the first one is vacho vegam, the urge to speak. So oftentimes, we all like to hear the sound of our voice. And this urge to speak is just the urge for our own, like peacock, get ourselves seen. Manasa, the urges of the mind. The mind is just all over the place and uncontrolled, and we are pushed by the mind. Vachavegam, manasa krodavegam, and the urges of anger, and the urges of the tongue, belly, and genitals. And it all actually starts here. If you eat very if you control your tongue, then the belly will be controlled and your genitals will be controlled. If you eat very sattvically, then you won't be chasing everybody, going on the 16 girlfriend diet.
No, we're not chasing. The women are chasing.
They're chasing you. Okay,
Yeah,
sorry.
that's what I meant.
Yeah. So you will say no to the 16 girlfriend. And it says if you have that type of control, then you are worthy to be a world-class teacher. It's a byproduct. How do you know someone's eating food? They're full. They're not hungry. So how do you know someone's mature? They're not hungry for the things of this world. They are full. That's the byproduct.
That's maturity.
Yes.
So when you love to do something, you love to salsa, you love to dance, is that spiritually immature?
If you love to dance,
Yeah, if you love something, it doesn't have to be dance, but if you love something and you really, it makes you feel good and it's part of your life and culture and you love to
Okay.
do it and participate, does that make you spiritually immature?
so if I saw some little baby shoes upstairs, the little baby shoes, I wouldn't feel anything. But if they were my youngest daughter's shoes, I would feel something. So take what you have already and then offer it to Krishna. It's not about giving that thing up. Make it offer to God. If I love to play guitar, then use my guitar in a way that is bringing glory. So if I love to eat delicious food, offer to the Lord first. It means don't forget the source. Whatever you love about it, there is a nerve, there is a cable of where it came from. The source, where that attractive quality comes from. But actually we are over 5 minutes over time. So we'll stop here. We can all discuss after, but we have any drums here? So we'll have a few minute kirtan and then we'll serve a delicious dinner to you right here. How does that sound? Hare Krishna. Om Tat Sat. Thanks a lot.